Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. I may not always tell you what you want to hear, but I tell you what you need to hear to make an informed decision. And I can hear the crying already. This is probably going to trigger a lot of you guys because this is not clickbait. So what you read on that thumbnail, guys, those are true statements as I know them. Now, I'm going to go through the process of how I uncovered this information because I know it goes against a lot of the information that we have been given over the last couple of months, if not couple of years. Now, if you're like me, you've been stacking the ISO20022 tokens that are compliant and been ready and stacking for the banking reset. However, as we're starting to learn, when Chainlink came down the pipe with their big announcement working with SWIFT, people were not saying that that was an opportunity. Now we all know it is, and it was a big one. We kind of missed it because we got incomplete information. Well, that sent me way down a rabbit hole, and quite frankly, into an area that I have zero interest in investigating. I don't like having to uncover something that is so hard to figure out. Now, this is information that I've uncovered with a lot of hours, and I can't totally keep verifying this information. I don't have access to these people. Now, I've reached out to a couple of developers that have given me this information. I've went to some forums where the developers are talking. But guys, I'm not a developer, and the way they speak is not common knowledge. So it's hard to put these pieces together. But I'm going to simplify this information, and I would love to hear your comments. But guys, I hope that your comments comes from facts and reasoning of some knowledge that you know. If you're a developer, please chime in, whether I'm right or wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments section, or help me out. If you don't know, but it just goes against what you've heard, guys, save your effort, because I'm here to learn as well as to teach. And everything that I provide to you guys has a lot of merit behind it. It may not all be factual because I can't always document the facts, and sometimes we have to put the pieces together. But I tell you that up front. So here's the scenario of how I uncovered this, and y'all do with this information as you will, not financial advice. Yesterday, I created a video about Cosmos is a new ISO20022 compliant crypto that no one has been talking about. And as far as I know, they're still not talking about it. Well, I got a lot of pushback. So that sent me down the rabbit hole for about another 7 hours, which I did not want to do. But I'm glad I did because I've uncovered a wealth of information. And I think I'm about 99% sure I got the gist of it right. Now, here's how it transpired, and here's what I know. I reached out to a developer buddy of mine, and I asked him about, how can I find which tokens are ISO certified, because I know I've got incomplete information, and there was a number of tokens, and I told him about Cosmos, and he told me that that Chainlink basically makes the other tokens, has the ability to make the other tokens ISO certified once they're onboarded into the SWIFT system. And he said, as a gateway. Well, I had never heard that. So I said, is there any way I can verify that? And he literally started laughing, and here's what he said. He said, Ray, I don't have to verify it. I know how it works. And I said, man, I know I can't just take this to my community. They will eat me alive. And quite frankly, I wanted more information. Well, luckily for me, guys, he sent me a link to this video that I have on the screen. So he verified it. Now I have verification from what I'm about to show you. Now, I've also been to a forum and I created a video where I talk about there's 2 other tokens linked to the Cosmos ecosystem. And the developer in that forum basically explained the same thing. He said that if you build on Cosmos, because it is ISO certified, long story short, that anything that's built on the Cosmos blockchain, they can easily make that project compliant. Not a problem. There's 2 or 3 different ways. It's not a big deal to a developer. Now, I also know from a couple months back, I made a video saying that Ethereum was going to get the lion's share of the CBDCs. People didn't like that, and they said, well, Ethereum's not even ISO certified. Well, when I went down that rabbit hole, I uncovered the fact that Chainlink, Quorum, and Consensus all make Ethereum ISO certified. I assume from my other knowledge that I've learned by Ethereum using their gateway. Either way, I know for a fact that Ethereum is equivalent to ISO compliant. There are and will be CBDCs sitting on top of Ethereum. Now, I may not, when I said are, I'm not sure if they've been deployed yet, but it's been announced that they're coming. Now, to continue, this gentleman here, if y'all want to see it, just go to YouTube. He's a developer and type in Chainlink makes all cryptos ISO 20022 compatible, and it will take you to this video. Now, I'm going to click on and let you hear what he says. Now, if you scroll around his YouTube channel, he also has a couple more videos where he talks about VChain or Chainlink, and he makes it a little more clear. But here's what he says, and y'all do with this information as you will.
The last big thing I want to mention today is Chainlink is going to make all cryptos ISO 20022 compatible. But there's a caveat, as long as they are actually using SWIFT. So because this is a partnership with SWIFT, and SWIFT is going to use Chainlink's CCIP protocol to actually seamlessly integrate with every blockchain out there. So technically, there won't be really anything, as long as both banks or institutions are using SWIFT, there won't be anything called like ISO 20022 compatibility or compliance. Pretty much, since CCIP integrates and makes interoperable all blockchains, pretty much every single blockchain out there will indeed be ISO 20022 compliant, as long as SWIFT is sending the messages, because they can actually use SWIFT messages and commands to initiate a transfer in any coin or any currency they want. So for a lot of banks and big institutions, is your crypto ISO 20022 compliant is going to be kind of a moot point, as long as they're using SWIFT and they're communicating with someone that's also using SWIFT. So that's actually a pretty big deal. Takes a lot of burden off other cryptos to actually become compliant in their messaging system, because SWIFT obviously itself is going to be compliant, being one of the people that's like heading this project. And if you can interoperate with SWIFT and basically like listen to SWIFT message commands to actually initiate transfers, it doesn't really matter which crypto you start transferring from.
See what I'm saying, guys? Now, that's from a developer. My other friend's a developer. He said pretty much the same thing. The one in the forum on my Cosmos video, he makes it clear that Cosmos can do it as well. Ethereum can do it. Now, I understand kind of how it's starting to work. Here's the way I make it just as simple as possible, guys. Last year, there was a hurricane down at the beach, and I was looking at real estate after the hurricane. It did a lot of damage. Well, me and a group of people were going on to a work site because they had condemned the building. Well, when we got there to look at the property, OSHA, which is kind of like an ISO, it's just a standard that you have to go onto a job site. Well, when we got there, what's included in the OSHA guidelines is you have to have like a helmet, glasses, and a vest. Well, we didn't have any of that. So we're standing outside the gate However, they loaned us the helmet, the glasses, and the vest. We put them on. Once we stepped inside of that gate, we were OSHA compliant. That's pretty much as simple as it gets. That's exactly how like Chainlink and a lot of these other gateways work. Now, that being said, he also mentioned depending on how Swift sets it up, they may be using the back end or the front end or the gateway of like XRP or XLM. He said there's 100 different ways they can configure any of these systems. And guys, for whatever it's worth, that's why it's so hard to figure out when it's a big win for whatever token we hear about. Because, not only do, they may win a contract with a bank or we hear something really positive, sometime it's another software, for instance, that Ripple has. They have like 9 different services that they offer. It's all software. Well, sometimes it's XRP that's going to be used and sometimes it's not, but it's still a win for Ripple. It's really hard for us to figure out, just like this big SWIFT deal with Chainlink. However, from what I learned a couple of weeks ago and the diagram that I posted in that video, everything pretty much on that video showed it going through Chainlink. I didn't understand what I was looking at like I do now after his information. But guys, I think this is pretty much, we're on the right track with this information. This is not financial advice, but hopefully it helps you. Because guys, I'm going to stack a little different and maybe look at these projects a little, a little different than I did before. However, I'm very confident in the tokens like IOTA and HBAR and XRP and Algorand and Quant. I know I'm fine with those. Now, but I have to say, the reason I like all the information is, the way I thought that was going to transpire even a month ago is probably not how it's going to transpire. I thought that, those 5, 6, 7 tokens were pretty much guaranteed a pretty good chunk. Well, there's a lot of people eating off that pie. So I don't really know how it's going to look when we have the banking reset, but I do feel comfortable, no matter how it transpires, that those tokens will pump. They may not pump as hard as I thought, but I'll be glad that I'm in them. That's just my thought process. Well, anyway, guys, if you happen to be a developer, please go ahead and let me know what you think in the comments section. Subscribe. I could always use your input to spread out to my community. Anyone else, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We're trying to grow this community, and we'd love you to be part of it. So hit that notification. Let me know what you think in the comments section. And either way, guys, please hit that like button. It helps us out a lot, and we do appreciate it. Come back and take care, guys.